Hello everyone. Today we are diving into a topic that's both crucial and complex: the ongoing violence in Manipur. Since last year, I kept wondering could it be just a conflict between two communities and kept researching. But after the 4th June comment of Bangladesh Prime Minister, I got a lot more hints, and now I want to share my research with you.
Here we come! We are indigenous people! We wanna
So let's first know about its history, geography, and demography. For those who might not be familiar, Manipur is a state in northeastern India, known for its rich history and diverse culture. Manipur is also known as Kanglipak in Methi language, with the city of Imphal as its capital. It is bounded by the Indian states of Nagaland to the north, Mizoram to the south, and Assam to the west. It also borders two regions of Myanmar, Sagaing region to the east and Chin state to the south. The official and most widely spoken language is the Methi language, native to the Methi people. It is also used as a lingua franca, or the bridge language, by smaller communities who speak a variety of other Tibeto-Burman languages. Manipur has been the crossroads of Asian economic and cultural exchange for more than 2,500 years. This exchange connects the Indian subcontinent and Central Asia to Southeast Asia, East Asia, Indian Ocean islands, enabling the migration of people, cultures, and religions. During the days of British Raj, Manipur was one of the princely states. British India was partitioned into the independent dominions of India and Pakistan, and all the princely states were advised to accede to one of the dominions to take over the management of their external affairs and defense. On 11th August 1947, Maharaja Bodh Chandra Singh signed an instrument of accession, argued by many that the king was in no legal position to sign the instrument of accession at the time. Under the agreement, Bodh Chandra Singh acceded to the Indian Union, followed by the contestation of the merger by groups in Manipur, and thus resulting in a 50-year insurgency in the state for independence from India. Now let's talk about the demography. The Methis, synonymous to the Manipuris, constitute the majority of the state's population. They inhabit the Imphal Valley. Nagas and Kuki-Zomi are the major tribes conglomerates of tribes inhabiting the surrounding hills. Hinduism and Christianity are the major religions practiced in Manipur. Between 1961 and 2011 censuses of India, the share of Hindus in the state declined from 62% to just 41%, while the share of Christians rose from 19% to 41%. Now let's deep dive into the issue of Manipur to understand it better.
Encountered mobs. She was shot there at that moment and died.
Manipur is burning.
The Manipur government issued shoot at sight orders last night.
सेना ने आज फ्लैग मार्च किया है। राज्य में अगले 5 दिनों के लिए मोबाइल इंटरनेट पर रोक लगा दी गई है।
We saw some very barbaric and horrific events happen in year 2023 in Manipur, where one of the Kuki women was paraded naked, and on the other side, houses of the Methi people were burned. All over the media, as well as opposition parties in India, termed it as a Methi-Kuki conflict. But is it the whole truth? The answer is no. Because of its geolocation, this area has been a hot spot for illegal trade, whether it is arms smuggling or drug trafficking. Let's talk about drug trafficking. Two of the major and biggest drug production hubs in the world are known as Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle. Golden Crescent includes Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, with Afghanistan as the biggest opium producers. However, after the Taliban came into power, opium production was banned in Afghanistan, which resulted in demand surge from the Golden Triangle region. Golden Triangle region consists of part of Myanmar, Thailand, and Cambodia, of which Myanmar is the biggest producer of opium. Rings any bell? Yeah, This is the same country bordering the Indian state of Manipur. Because Myanmar has to smuggle opium, one of the easiest routes is through the porous border of Manipur. And since Manipur's Kuki tribe, which has relatives in Myanmar as well, there were easy cross-border connections. Now let's go back to 2016. Myanmar started a genocide against its Rohingya Muslim population, and to save their lives, these Rohingyas took shelter in countries like Bangladesh, India and Malaysia. Which brings us to the second problem of armed trafficking. Since these Rohingyas were jobless, extremist groups used them in arms smuggling from Myanmar through Manipur and Tripura. But why would Myanmar smuggle weapons? Well, we have to remember 2021 military coup of Myanmar. This coup resulted in emergence of various rebel militant groups, and they surely needed exchange of weapons. Now let's connect about two issues. Since Kuki population and some other tribes of Manipur are involved in drug trafficking, which Indian forces try to stop, these smugglers also needed weapons and people to fight against Indian forces. And that connects the dot between these three countries with another trafficking problem, human trafficking. Now going back to origin of recent Kuki-Methi conflict, when Government of India decided to provide Methis scheduled tribe status back in 2022 and 3, it became a threat to Kukis, not because of job transfer, but because it allowed Methis also to buy land in the forest, not being restricted to Imphal Valley, which has been an injustice to the Methis since 60% of the population had access to only 10% of the land of Manipur. So this was an issue because the rural area of the hill region was utilized by the Kukis to grow opium, and that's where the brutal conflict again took unfortunate turns. Now let's talk about the next issue. Curbing militancy has been a big problem for Indian forces in this region. Of many militant groups like KNF or Kuki National Front are well connected with the Islamist militant groups like Jaffa of Bangladesh, which is also connected with Lashkar-e-Taiba. This connected syndicate allows the group to easily hide in each other's territories, as well as across border, with Myanmar also playing a significant role. But why and how Myanmar plays the role? Well, after the coup happened in Myanmar, several rebel groups originated from the western side of Myanmar, which borders, yeah, you are right, Manipur. But why the rebel groups? Well, after the right-wing government was toppled by the military, which was heavily influenced by Chinese powers, started acting like dictators.
Away from the eyes of the world, villages are being razed, civilians massacred.
Do you remember this video where the lady is having her morning workout or dance, and in the back we can see military vehicle passing by for the coup? Don't know if I should call it funny or just sad. One more issue in Manipur is the religious conversions, which is slowly converting Hindus into Christians. Methis being Hindu in majority and Kukis in Christian, it became another fault line to exploit. And this issue is present in the neighboring states as well, like Assam, Nagaland and Mizoram. Now coming to the most critical and conspiring issue, the external powers. Remember, on 3rd June 2024, Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Ms. Sheikh Hasina, said that one Western gentleman met her some time back asking for establishing a military base on St. Martin Island of Bangladesh, to which she denied, and the Western man didn't like it. She also said the Western powers are trying to create a Christian country in the regions of Bangladesh, Myanmar and another neighboring country. She was talking about India. Before we come to this Christian country issue, let's talk about why St. Martin's Island was in the interest. Let's see its location. To the south, it has Coco Islands of Myanmar, where there is a Chinese Air Force strip. To more south, there is Andaman Islands, where Indian forces have presence. You need to understand, it's it's about control of this geographical area in the Indian Ocean region. China wants to put India in pressure by having its presence in Coco Islands, and Western powers also want control of this area to put China and India both under pressure, and that's why it wanted St. Martin's Island. Now let's go back to Christian country theory, the cookie land, an idea of a country for cookie people, just like Pakistan for Muslims. In early 20th century, Britishers started working on the idea of cookie land. The objective was simply divide and rule. Just like 1947, when they divided India and created a separate country, Pakistan, they never wanted Pakistan to be prosperous and strong. They wanted it as a buffer state from where they can control the USSR, which is now broken in several countries including Russia. You will ask why British wanted to control USSR. Simply because Britishers were slowly coming under the control of USA during the Second World War, and USA wanted to control USSR's dominance in the region. Though they didn't know much about when will be they leaving India, but they also wanted a territory on the east side of India too, from where they can control Southeast Asia, India and China. But they never succeeded in separating another country in the east. So they started sending missionaries in higher numbers to convert the population, which can disassociate themselves from the idea of Indian nation and act as Western proxies. Now coming to the controversial part, why did PM Narendra Modi didn't speak about these violence? Well, I would have liked it if he talked about it, but still it does make sense. You know why? Let me tell you. Because anything he will say can be taken out of context or be clipped and may be used by our adversaries or our enemies to further ignite the issue and conflict between different communities in that area. It is not just a conflict between two communities, but a geopolitical issue, internal security issue, as well as drug and arm trafficking issue, where the fault lines are anti-India sentiments in some groups and tribes because of their cultural closeness to Myanmar. Other fault lines being porous land borders, religious differences, and fight for the control over forest areas. So now you know it's not so simple.
Hello friends, I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please do subscribe to the channel because that will give me a lot of motivation to bring more such videos. Also, if you found it insightful and useful, do like the video and share it with your family and friends. And if you want to suggest me any new topic to make the video on, please do comment. You can also comment me to on the video to correct me if I have made any mistake in the video. Thank you so much. Have a good time.